Welcome to our channel, where we explore the mysteries of life, death, and the soul's journey beyond the physical realm. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and profound topics ever revealed. What happens to the soul in the first 40 days after death, according to the legendary mystic and psychic Edgar Cayce. Known as the sleeping prophet, Cayce left behind a treasure trove of insights into the nature of the soul, reincarnation, and the afterlife. His readings have inspired millions, offering a glimpse into the unseen realms and the journey that awaits us all. So, what really happens when we take our final breath? What does the soul experience in those crucial first 40 days after leaving the body? And how can Cayce's revelations help us understand the purpose of life and death? Stick with us as we unravel this incredible story. To begin, let's talk about Edgar Cayce himself. Born in 1877 in Kentucky, Cayce was an ordinary man with an extraordinary gift. While in a self-induced trance, he could access what he called the Akashic Records, a universal library of all knowledge, past, present, and future. Through these readings, Cayce provided insights into health, spirituality, and the mysteries of existence. One of the most compelling aspects of his work was his detailed descriptions of the soul's journey after death. According to Cayce, death is not an end but a transition, a doorway to another dimension of existence. He described the soul as an eternal entity, temporarily inhabiting a physical body to learn, grow, and evolve. When the body dies, the soul is released, beginning a new chapter in its journey. But what happens next? Cayce's readings reveal that the first 40 days after death are a critical period for the soul. This time is marked by profound experiences, choices, and opportunities for growth. It's a time of transition where the soul begins to shed its earthly attachments and prepare for its next phase of existence. The process begins immediately after death. Cayce described the moment of death as a release, a sense of freedom as the soul leaves the physical body. Many souls report feeling a sense of lightness, as if a great weight has been lifted. Some even describe seeing their own body from above, as if watching from a distance. This is often accompanied by a sense of peace, love, and acceptance. However, not all souls experience this transition in the same way. Cayce explained that the soul's state of mind at the time of death plays a significant role in its journey. For those who are at peace, the transition is often smooth and joyful. But for those who are fearful, angry, or deeply attached to the material world, the process can be more challenging. In the first few days after death, the soul often remains close to the physical plane. This is a time of adjustment, as the soul begins to realize that it is no longer bound by the body. Many souls report visiting loved ones, observing their surroundings, and even attending their own funeral. This period is often marked by a sense of curiosity and wonder as the soul explores its new reality. Cayce also described a phenomenon known as the life review. During this process, the soul is shown a panoramic view of its most recent life. This is not a judgment but an opportunity for reflection. The soul sees its actions, choices, and relationships from a higher perspective, understanding the impact it had on others and the lessons it learned. This life review is often accompanied by a sense of unconditional love and compassion, as the soul is guided by higher beings or spiritual mentors. As the days progress, the soul begins to move further from the physical plane and closer to the spiritual realms. This is a time of healing and release, as the soul lets go of its earthly attachments and prepares for its next phase of existence. Cayce explained that this process is deeply personal and varies from soul to soul. Some may experience vivid landscapes, beautiful light, or encounters with loved ones who have passed on. Others may feel a sense of merging with the divine, a return to the source of all creation. One of the most fascinating aspects of Cayce's readings is his description of the soul's choices during this period. According to Cayce, the soul is given the opportunity to review its progress, set intentions for its next incarnation, and choose its path forward. This is not a random process but a deeply intentional one, guided by the soul's desire for growth and evolution. As the soul continues its journey through the first 40 days after death, it begins to encounter what Cayce referred to as soul groups or soul families. These are other souls with whom it has shared significant experiences across lifetimes. These connections are not random. They are deeply meaningful and often tied to the lessons the soul is working to learn. During this phase, the soul may reunite with loved ones who have passed on, experiencing a profound sense of joy and recognition. These reunions are not just emotional, they serve a higher purpose. They allow the soul to reflect on its relationships, heal unresolved emotions, and gain clarity about its spiritual path. Cayce emphasized that these encounters are part of the soul's preparation for its next steps, helping it to release any lingering attachments or regrets. Around this time, the soul also begins to interact more directly with higher spiritual beings. These beings, often described as guides, angels, or ascended masters, serve as mentors for the soul. They provide wisdom, support, and guidance, helping the soul navigate its transition. Cayce described these guides as compassionate and loving, always working in the soul's best interest. They assist in the life review process, offering insights and helping the soul understand the lessons it has learned. One of the most profound aspects of this phase is the soul's growing awareness of its true nature. As it moves further from the physical plane, the soul begins to shed the illusions of separation and individuality. It starts to remember its connection to the divine, to the infinite source of all creation. This is often described as a feeling of oneness, a sense of being part of something much greater than oneself. Cayce explained that this awareness is both liberating and transformative, allowing the soul to see its life and experiences from a higher perspective. However, this process is not without its challenges. For some souls, letting go of earthly attachments can be difficult. Cayce noted that souls who are deeply tied to material possessions, unresolved conflicts, or unfulfilled desires may struggle during this phase. These souls may linger near the physical plane, unable to fully transition. This is not a punishment but an opportunity for growth. The soul is given the time and support it needs to release these attachments and move forward. As the soul approaches the end of the 40-day period, it begins to prepare for its next phase of existence. This is a time of decision-making as the soul chooses its path forward. According to Cayce, the soul has several options at this point. It may choose to reincarnate, returning to the physical plane to continue its lessons. It may choose to remain in the spiritual realms for further growth and healing. Or it may choose to ascend to higher dimensions, depending on its level of spiritual development. These choices are not made in isolation. The soul is guided by its higher self, its spiritual mentors, and the divine. Together, they create the plan that aligns with the soul's purpose and goals. This plan is not set in stone, it is flexible and evolves as the soul grows. But it serves as a roadmap, guiding the soul on its journey. One of the most fascinating aspects of Cayce's readings is his description of the soul's preparation for reincarnation. He explained that before returning to the physical plane, the soul carefully selects its circumstances, including its family, environment, and challenges. These choices are not random, they are intentional and aligned with the soul's purpose. For example, a soul may choose a family that will help it learn about love, forgiveness, or resilience. It may choose challenges that will help it grow stronger or develop new skills. These choices are made with the understanding that every experience, no matter how difficult, serves a higher purpose. Cayce also emphasized the importance of free will in this process. While the soul creates a plan for its next life, it is not bound by it. Free will allows the soul to make choices, learn from its experiences, and shape its destiny. This interplay between destiny and free will is a central theme in Cayce's teachings, highlighting the soul's power to create its reality. As the 40-day period comes to a close, the soul is fully transitioned into its next phase of existence. Whether it chooses to reincarnate, remain in the spiritual realms, or ascend to higher dimensions, it does so with a deeper understanding of itself and its purpose. This period is not just a time of transition, it is a time of transformation, a reminder of the soul's infinite potential and its eternal connection to the divine. As we continue exploring Edgar Cayce's revelations about the first 40 days after death, it's important to understand the profound spiritual significance of this period. Cayce often compared it to a bridge, a passageway between the physical and spiritual realms. This bridge is not just a transition but a sacred journey, one that allows the soul to reflect, heal, and prepare for its next steps. One of the most intriguing aspects of Cayce's teachings is his description of the soul's interaction with the Akashic records during this time. The Akashic records, often referred to as the Book of Life, are a vast, universal database that contains the complete history of every soul. Every thought, action, and experience is recorded here, creating a detailed account of the soul's journey across lifetimes. During the first 40 days after death, the soul gains access to these records, allowing it to review its past lives and understand the patterns and lessons that have shaped its evolution. This is not just a passive experience, it's an active process of learning and growth. The soul is able to see how its choices have influenced its journey, how its actions have impacted others, and what it still needs to learn. This access to the Akashic records is a powerful tool for self-awareness and transformation. It allows the soul to identify areas where it has grown and areas where it still has work to do. For example, a soul may realize that it has struggled with forgiveness across multiple lifetimes. This awareness gives the soul the opportunity to focus on this lesson in its next incarnation, creating a plan to overcome this challenge and achieve greater spiritual growth. Cayce also described how the soul's connection to the Akashic records helps it understand the interconnectedness of all things. The soul begins to see how its actions ripple out into the universe, influencing not just its own journey but the journeys of others. This awareness fosters a sense of responsibility and compassion, encouraging the soul to make choices that align with its highest purpose. Another key aspect of this period is the soul's growing awareness of its multidimensional nature. According to Cayce, the soul exists simultaneously in multiple dimensions, with the physical plane being just one aspect of its existence. During the first 40 days after death, the soul begins to reconnect with these other dimensions, gaining a broader perspective on its journey. This multidimensional awareness allows the soul to see its life from a higher vantage point, understanding how its experiences fit into the larger tapestry of existence. It also helps the soul recognize the temporary nature of the physical world, encouraging it to focus on the eternal aspects of its being. As the soul moves further into the spiritual realms, it begins to experience a sense of unity with the divine. Cayce described this as a feeling of being enveloped in unconditional love, a love so profound that it transcends anything the soul has ever experienced in the physical world. This love is not just an emotion, it's a state of being, a reminder of the soul's true nature and its eternal connection to the source. This experience of divine love is deeply healing, helping the soul release any lingering fears, regrets, or attachments. It's a time of profound transformation, as the soul begins to align more fully with its higher self and its divine purpose. However, Cayce also emphasized that this process is not the same for every soul. Each journey is unique, shaped by the soul's experiences, choices, and level of spiritual development. Some souls may move through this period quickly, while others may take more time. There is no right or wrong way to navigate this journey, only the path that is right for each individual soul. One of the most comforting aspects of Cayce's teachings is his assurance that the soul is never alone during this process. Whether it's through the presence of loved ones, spiritual guides, or the divine itself, the soul is always supported and guided. This support is not just passive, it's active and intentional, designed to help the soul navigate its journey with grace and understanding. As the 40-day period draws to a close, the soul reaches a point of clarity and resolution. It has reviewed its life, healed its wounds, and reconnected with its divine essence. It is now ready to move forward, whether that means reincarnating, continuing its growth in the spiritual realms, or ascending to higher dimensions. This period is not just an ending, it's a new beginning, a reminder that the soul's journey is eternal and ever-evolving. As we approach the final stages of the soul's journey during the first 40 days after death, it's important to reflect on the profound wisdom Edgar Cayce shared about this transformative period. This is not just a time of transition, but a sacred opportunity for the soul to realign with its higher purpose and prepare for the next chapter of its eternal existence. One of the most fascinating aspects of Cayce's teachings is his description of the soul's ability to influence its future during this time. According to Cayce, The choices the soul makes in these 40 days have a significant impact on its next incarnation or its continued growth in the spiritual realms. This is a time of immense creative power, where the soul can set intentions, resolve karmic patterns, and align itself with its highest potential. Cayce explained that this process is guided by the soul's higher self, a divine aspect of its being that exists beyond the limitations of the physical world. The higher self acts as a bridge between the soul and the divine, offering wisdom, clarity, and guidance. During this period, the soul is encouraged to listen to the voice of its higher self, to trust its intuition, and to embrace its inner wisdom. This connection to the higher self is not just a passive experience, it's an active collaboration. The soul works with its higher self to create a plan for its next steps, whether that involves reincarnating, continuing its growth in the spiritual realms, or ascending to higher dimensions. This plan is not rigid or predetermined, it's flexible and evolves as the soul grows. But it serves as a roadmap, guiding the soul on its journey. Another key aspect of this period is the soul's interaction with the spiritual realms. Cayce described these realms as vibrant, dynamic, and filled with infinite possibilities. They are not static or one-dimensional, but rich with energy, light, and love. During the first 40 days after death, the soul begins to explore these realms, gaining a deeper understanding of its true nature and its connection to the universe. One of the most profound experiences the soul may have during this time is what Cayce referred to as soul healing. This is a process of deep, transformative healing that allows the soul to release any lingering pain, fear, or regret. It's a time of forgiveness, both for oneself and for others, and a time of letting go of anything that no longer serves the soul's growth. This healing is not just emotional, it's spiritual, touching the very essence of the soul. Cayce emphasized that this healing is guided by divine love, a force so powerful and all-encompassing that it transcends anything the soul has ever experienced in the physical world. This love is not conditional or judgmental, it's pure, infinite, and unconditional. It's a reminder of the soul's true nature and its eternal connection to the divine. As the soul undergoes this healing, it begins to experience a sense of renewal and transformation. It's as if the soul is being reborn, shedding its old layers and emerging as a more radiant, evolved version of itself. This process is not always easy, it can be challenging and even painful at times. But it's also deeply rewarding, offering the soul a chance to grow, evolve, and align more fully with its divine purpose. One of the most comforting aspects of Cayce's teachings is his assurance that the soul is never alone during this process. Whether it's through the presence of loved ones, spiritual guides, or the divine itself, the soul is always supported and guided. This support is not just passive, it's active and intentional, designed to help the soul navigate its journey with grace and understanding. As the 40-day period comes to an end, the soul reaches a point of clarity and resolution. It has reviewed its life, healed its wounds, and reconnected with its divine essence. It is now ready to move forward, whether that means reincarnating, continuing its growth in the spiritual realms, or ascending to higher dimensions. This period is not just an ending, it's a new beginning, a reminder that the soul's journey is eternal and ever-evolving. Cayce's teachings about the first 40 days after death offer profound insights into the nature of the soul, the purpose of life and death, and the infinite possibilities of existence. They remind us that death is not an end but a transition, a doorway to a new chapter in the soul's journey. They encourage us to live with purpose, to embrace our spiritual growth, and to trust in the divine plan. As we conclude this exploration of Edgar Cayce's revelations about the first 40 days after death, let's take a moment to reflect on the deeper meaning of his teachings and how they can impact our lives here and now. Cayce's insights are not just about what happens after we die, they are a guide for how to live fully, with purpose, and in alignment with our soul's journey. One of the most powerful messages from Cayce's readings is the reminder that life and death are part of the same continuum. Death is not an end but a transition, a natural part of the soul's eternal evolution. This understanding can help us release the fear of death and embrace life with greater courage and intention. When we realize that our time on Earth is just one chapter in a much larger story, we can begin to see our challenges, relationships, and experiences in a new light. Every moment becomes an opportunity for growth, every interaction a chance to learn, and every choice a step on the path of our soul's journey. Cayce's teachings also emphasize the importance of living in alignment with our higher self. The higher self is not something separate from us, it is the truest, most divine aspect of who we are. By connecting with our higher self, we can gain clarity about our purpose, make choices that align with our soul's growth, and navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom and grace. This connection is not something reserved for the afterlife, it's something we can cultivate here and now. Through practices like meditation, prayer, and self-reflection, we can tune into the voice of our higher self and align with the divine guidance that is always available to us. Another key takeaway from Cayce's teachings is the importance of love and compassion. The soul's journey, both in life and after death, is deeply intertwined with its ability to give and receive love. Love is not just an emotion, it's the essence of who we are, the force that connects us to each other and to the divine. By cultivating love and compassion in our daily lives, we can align more fully with our soul's purpose and create a ripple effect that uplifts those around us. Whether it's through acts of kindness, forgiveness, or simply being present with others, every expression of love brings us closer to our true nature. Cayce also reminds us of the power of free will. While the soul's journey is guided by a divine plan, we are not passive participants in this process. We have the power to make choices, to shape our destiny, and to co-create our reality with the universe. This understanding is both empowering and humbling. It reminds us that we are responsible for our growth and that every choice we make has the potential to move us closer to or further from our highest potential. As we navigate the challenges and uncertainties of life, Cayce's teachings offer a source of comfort and inspiration. They remind us that we are never alone, that we are always supported by the divine, and that every experience, no matter how difficult, serves a higher purpose. They encourage us to trust in the process, to embrace the lessons of each moment, and to live with an open heart and an open mind. Finally, Cayce's insights about the first 40 days after death remind us of the importance of legacy, not in the sense of material achievements or accolades, but in the impact we have on others and the world around us. The love we give, the kindness we show, and the wisdom we share are the true markers of a life well lived. These are the things that endure, the gifts that continue to ripple out into the universe long after we are gone. So, as we reflect on Cayce's teachings, let us ask ourselves, how can we live in a way that honors our soul's journey? How can we align with our higher self, cultivate love and compassion, and make choices that support our growth and the growth of others? These are the questions that can guide us, not just in this life but in the eternal journey of the soul. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Edgar Cayce's revelations about the first 40 days after death. If you found this video inspiring or thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what resonated with you the most and how you plan to apply these insights to your own life. Until next time, remember, you are an eternal being, a spark of the divine, and your journey is filled with infinite possibilities. Keep growing, keep shining, and trust in the beauty of your soul's path.